talk, find out, and have a conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. She's a marketing strategist and lead generation specialist. None other than, please, Tianna Mamalick.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Welcome. Yes, welcome, Miss Tiana on Abstract Essay. Can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Yeah, so I have been in marketing for 12 years. I help small businesses get more leads through SEO and paid ads, primarily actually using organic and paid together to create a really cool lead system for small businesses.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Miss. Yeah, thank you. And today let's talk about SEO and AI. Oh, I love our topic today, Miss Tiana. And how will you describe the fundamental shift in SEO philosophy from optimizing for Google's algorithm to optimizing for Google's AI?
Yes. So we have seen a huge shift in how people search the internet. So we used to, and everybody used to do this, go to Google, type in your keyword, and then you would find the things that you needed to find. And now people are starting to go to Google or even to an AI model, and they ask these very obscure questions.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to be able to answer these with our websites. So, mhm.
Awesome. And with AI like Gemini directly answering user queries, the traditional 10 blue links are getting squeezed. What is the new purpose of organic search results in this AI driven era?
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot less information-based searches and a lot more transaction-based searches. So people have already kind of figured out like what they need, what they want, and all their basic questions. They're very good at finding all that information. So when they're getting to Google, instead of needing this like this is what the topic is, they need more of a this is how I offer it, and this is why you should pick me.
Hmm. Yes, interesting. The concept of EEAT or experience, expertise, authoritative, and trustworthiness has never been more critical. How can a website demonstrably prove their experience to both users and AI systems?
I think it's important now to make sure that your about pages and your author pages, which people used to forget about their author pages all the time, explain why you are an
Mm,
expert in your industry. So a lot of people like to just say, oh, well, people should assume that I'm an expert because I have clients or I am doing this thing or I offer it. But if you don't tell people and if you don't tell Google, it doesn't know that you are the expert. So I think it's really important. I work with a lot of lawyers, a lot of counselors. Like you need to explain what credentials and what specializations you have to make you the person that people should go to for this answer. And you have to state it plainly so that one, the LLMs or the chat models can pull from it, and two, so people can actually see it. So they're like, okay, I'm looking up this specific topic. That's why I should trust you. You have 15 certificates on this. You also went to school for it. You have 12 years of experience. Make it very clear why you are a specialist in that.
yes. Clearly stated, people. Strategy and practical implementation, Miss Tiana. Many SEOs are terrified of AI generated content and its potential for penalties. What are the hallmarks of help, helpful AI assisted content versus lazy, spammy AI content that Google will demote?
Yes, I love this question. So, there is a lot of garbage content on the internet, especially now that everybody has access to writing
Mm-hmm.
support. And I personally think that it's very important that you use the AI systems to help you with your content, but don't use them for your content unless you feel very strongly that you have trained your model to really understand you. So, I know we like to say, like, oh, you have no idea ChatGPT wrote this. We know. So it's really, do you have the capacity? And if you don't, are there ways that you can try to make it better? But I personally only use the AI system to outline what the content should be on page. And then we still have our writers actually write it because we are seeing consistent demotions, not just from Google, but from people for very heavy chat GPT content. So it's not just Google who's like, oh, this is awful. It's also people who are like, oh, I can clearly see this was written by AI and I don't want to read it because I could just go to AI and find this myself.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. And Miss Tiana, how should the role of an SEO specialist evolve? What new skills are becoming essential to stay relevant alongside AI tools?
Yeah. So I think we are moving into an era where it's more about strategy than just writing the content. So people don't want to pay, no businesses want to pay a ton of money for the content anymore, especially since they think they can do it themselves. So it's really more about stepping into the strategy portion of that. What keywords are most useful? And that's really what an SEO specialist is going to do for you. So it's not just them writing the content, it's them finding the content one on your site that needs to be rewritten. There's a lot of people who have wasted pages on their website, or it's about them figuring out like what the low hanging fruit is and how you can rank faster. But SEOs, we're in a bit of an uphill battle because a lot of people do think, okay, well, I can do this myself. The interesting part is, I do think it's going to switch back. While everybody loves the idea of doing something themselves, people are very scared of SEO. So I don't think you're going to have a significant amount of businesses coming in and being like, oh, I can use AI to do my own SEO. So it'll happen, but I think we've got a spot for quite a while.
Miss Vienna, with AI able to generate countless content variations, is it keyword strategy now more about topic clusters and semantic understanding than individual key phrases?
100%. So if you want to rank for something, I don't think it's about you picking, and this is where some SEOs are still, kind of on the back seat. It's not about picking a keyword and ranking for that keyword. It's picking a topic and making sure that your website explains that topic to 100% of what it needs to explain it to. So if you're talking about, I have a client I was just working on pool opening and pool closing services, you can't just decide you're going to rank for pool opening and then immediately rank for pool opening anymore. People are not just looking for pool opening. They're looking for questions on how does it work? Why does it work? Where does it work? You want to have all of those pieces on your website, and then Google's going to give you more SEO juice, so to speak, for having more of that topic. So I don't recommend just going for keywords. Like, keep keywords in mind, they're important, but it's really about the topic as a whole. So what do you need to say in this topic for you to actually rank for that properly?
Technical SEO is often seen as the less glamorous side of the field. Is its importance increasing or decreasing or simply changing with the advent of AI search?
I personally think that technical SEO is decreasing. So the need for that very technical code based SEO is just not as important anymore. Most of the builders come with it. And I know a lot of people kind of hem and haw about which builder they should use. Should I be on WordPress? Should I be on Wix? Should I be using Squarespace because it's better for me? I don't think it's necessarily as important as it used to be. So there are some technical aspects, like having broken links on your site. That's definitely going to be a bad user experience. But I do think we're kind of moving away from the need to code in special pieces most of the builders pre-come with it. So if anyone's afraid of SEO, now is a better time to start getting involved and really understanding it, because I think it has actually really started to sway more towards like actually having good content people want to read, instead of that whole real technical piece.
Hmm, yes. And let's talk about the user experience and content paradigm. Google helpful content update seems to, well, prefigure an AI driven world. What does helpful content truly mean when you are competing with AI that can synthesize perfect a direct answer?
I am seeing a switch in people caring more about entertaining content. So if we think of the way people look at social media, we love social media. It's entertaining. There's lots of videos, there's lots of stuff going on. If we take that idea and switch it, like even when people are looking for an answer to something, they still want the experience to be good and entertaining, and they want you to have a different or important take on something. So your opinion matters. And I think it matters more now than it ever used to. So with this whole garbage in, garbage out of all of the AI content that we're getting, if you have a true, genuine opinion or a strong position on something, people will very much care about that, because all of a sudden now your article or your content on your website is different than somebody else's. So I think as we kind of move into this, like, yes, Google's kind of placing an emphasis on using AI right now. I do think it's kind of one of those things where tools come up and it gets very, very exciting. It's this big shiny object. And Google is all about best experience for the human. So as humans say, well, we like AI, but we don't want that much of it. I think Google will start, kind of leveling out a little bit and realizing what people want versus what they don't want. And I think as we start to see that, it's really going to be like, how do we make this a good experience, an entertaining experience? And how do we make sure that they see the content that isn't just regurgitated?
Miss Tiana, how can we use AI to move beyond just creating text and into a building a truly dynamic, interactive, and personalized user experiences that search engines will reward?
So I actually have kind of a bit of a strategy that I love. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to rank for something, take the top three things that are on whatever keyword or whatever topic on Google, take all those pages, pop them into ChatGPT, and say, give me a page that meets, then exceeds those three top pages right there. And then you write that content on your website and add your own unique experience on top of that.
Miss Tiana, there's a tension between creating content that satisfies an AI's definition of comprehensive and a human's need for concise and, well, it's cannibal. How do we strike the right balance?
Hmm. It's important to put a large emphasis on your headings and make sure that you are really giving your content space. So, scannable is something that Google cares about, and it's something that people care about. And I think a lot of the times we like to kind of lump things, especially in blogs. Like if you're getting ChatGPT to write your blogs, it's going to leave you a lot of space, but it's also going to leave you not a lot of actual content. If you're writing it yourself, keep things short and sweet. Make it super easy for people to scan instead of have to read. You should have the entire idea of the page or article in your headlines only. So I actually like to write content with a focus on the outline first, getting all of the headings first, and then I add my opinions, my content pieces, my deep dives into those pieces once I have the outline ready to go. And the outline is really the scannable piece that says, like, these are the 5 things you should care about most, or this is, kind of like the next steps of what you need to do to purchase something.
Ethics, quality, and the future. Miss Tiana, as AI makes SEO more accessible, how do we prevent the web from being flooded with even more low quality, good enough content? And how can quality sites stand out?
I am going to go back to the idea of your opinion, your stance, your specialization, your unique experiences matter. And as we get more of this regurgitated content, Google is one going to start to figure out what's been kind of like copy and pasted. And we've all seen it. So we've seen those pieces that are just so high level that it's like, okay, I know you're trying to rank for this keyword, or they have, social posts that are just so high level, like there's no depth to them. So when you're reading something, you can truly tell when there's no depth to that writing. And I'm not saying that you can't get that with AI, but a lot of people are not. And those lack of depth content pieces are going to start decreasing in rank. And I do think you're going to start getting penalizations on it, in a sense that if there's nothing good on your website, like if there's no actual real clear like learnings that Google can pull, you're just not going to rank. It's just not even going to be worth putting you in the indexing. And the reason I think this is, when you have pages on your site, if you have a page that's better than another one, it's called canonicalization. So it means that your page is kind of eating up all of the keywords of another possible page. This is already happening on your own website. So imagine how much of that is happening on the greater wide web, especially on like a Google search. And this is for all search platforms. So if you're going to continue to write content that has absolutely no depth, it doesn't add to the conversation, you're just going to get canonicalized by somebody else.
Well, Ms. Tiana, as a marketing strategist and lead generation specialist, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
Oh, short-term goals are to, I want people to like SEO more. I am very, very passionate about SEO. I think it's an amazing tool. I think a lot of people are fearful of it. And we're fearful because in the SEO industry, in the marketing industry, we tend to like to use these things. Like we use EEAT, eat, right? It's all about authority. But we make it sound really, really complicated, which we think we're making it easier, but then it makes people nervous about getting into the industry. So at SMB, we hire people, we teach and train. I love teaching new people SEO. I do have a course. So the greater wide goal, short term and long term, is to get more people actively involved in SEO, not afraid of it. And I also want more people to realize that just because you can write regurgitated garbage on ChatGPT does not mean that you
Mhm.
should. So if you want to add 180 articles to your website written by ChatGPT, like that's great. But why not add 2 extremely well done ones instead that you wrote? It'll take you about the same amount of time. And in the grand scheme of things, most websites only rank for about 10 pages. So you don't need those 180. And I want people to feel more empowered to want to write their own content and not feel like SEO is overwhelming.
Yes, definitely. And good luck to your goals, Miss Tiana. Looking forward for more success. And what would be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be like you?
Oof. Well, if you want to get into SEO, start writing, because I feel like it's going to actually switch back. The more creative writers we have within the SEO world, the better you will be. And if you are a small business who wants to get into SEO and you really don't know where to start by answering the questions your clients most commonly ask you. Even if you have a piece of paper on the side of your desk, every time they call, every time they come in, answer or just write down those questions that they ask every single time, and then write blog posts that answer those. That on its own is like half of the good content you can write. And then from there, like, your topic better than anybody else. So just write the things people want to search for.
Yes, definitely. And thank you for that advice, Miss Tiana. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So tell us, Miss Tiana, how can we use AI to move beyond just sorry. How can we use AI to move beyond just creating text?
Yeah, so you can train your AI And I do highly recommend you train your AI. Give it as much content as you possibly can. Give it all of your web pages if you need to, but also edit all of it. Do not post something direct from ChatGPT. You don't have to be a perfect writer. I know we look at these ChatGPT articles and we're like, oh, it's so perfectly written, I can't add to it. I actually prefer to, again, go back to that idea of get ChatGPT to write the outline for you and then put it in your own words. People want to read your words. Content that has spelling errors, far more likely to rank higher nowadays than stuff without spelling errors. So if you're sitting there thinking like, oh, I just need to run it through ChatGPT to make it, grammatically correct, like nobody actually cares about that as much as we think they do. Like your Word document will do more than enough grammatical correcting, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you need to be scared of that perfectionist mindset. Like people want to hear your voice. Authenticity, like people just keep using this word. It's kind of like that, like the word that's coming up lately. But authenticity, when we like really break it down, is like people want to work with people, and we just keep trying to put machines in front of them. And our clients don't want to work with machines. We don't want to work with machines. They don't want to read what a machine said. They want to know your thoughts and your feelings within the context of what they're searching for. So don't be afraid to use those.
Yes, don't afraid. And thank you, Miss Tiana, for backing me up. Looking at the Amazonification of search, where product listings and ads dominate, what the future do informational and editorial sites to have an AI powered search result?
Very good question. So I think the conversation for this one is actually going to change as we go. So I think we're in such an early stage of like how is AI affecting search that I think a lot of people can kind of put their 2 cents in here, but no one really knows what's happening fully, like fundamentally to its core. We're all kind of just guessing. So yes, paid is winning or paid is top, and there's so much, it's so overwhelmingly competitive right now. AI call outs are 100% an issue. So find the pieces that are not being totally like cannibalized by the paid and AI. And one, like a really good example, are how to's. And if you have to get in a little bit at the how to level, that's okay too. So I have a client there, a licensed insolvency trustee. If you don't know what that is, it means they do bankruptcy. A very, very complicated industry. Their industry is overwhelmingly competitive. And what we did for them is went into the how to fields. How does this work? Why does it work? What do I need to do? A lot of question based, and moving into like videos of how, what, and why from a real person. Those have really started to support, and you're seeing on Google searches and even within ChatGPT, videos are being pulled in, photos are being pulled in. So it's all going to be competitive. So keep searching and find where in your industry it's less competitive. And then that's where you should start playing. So it's not always what you think it's going to be.
Mm-hmm. So, Miss Tiana, what is the most common time consuming SEO task that AI has already made obsolete? And what is one nuance strategic task that still requires a seasoned human professional?
Oh, good one. So I do think, and I think my idea here is a little bit not loved by the SEO community, but I do think metadata is on its way out. So we still do it. It is best case. If you don't know what metadata is, it's the title and description that gets pulled from your website onto a Google search. And Google can actually make decisions to change that, even if you have it preset. So I do think because of how good AI is now, Google's already changing those so much. I think this whole concept is on its way out, and it's a lot of work to do. So it's going to be one of those things that goes first. When you are doing a service page, yes, you can get AI to write it. I highly recommend you do not get AI to fully write that. Write for a human, write for a person. Your service page will do better. And then if you're doing, the pieces yourself and have FAQs at the bottom, like You know the questions better than AI is ever going to. Like, what are people actually asking you? What do people care is actually on this page? Yes, it can give you an idea, but you still know your clients better. So make sure that you're, keeping that top of mind more than just checking off that you have a service page, which is what ChatGPT will do.
Yes, definitely. So, Miss Tiana, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my Abstract Essay is already in fifth season, Abstract Poetry in second season, and my Book 101 Review in fifth season too, Comedy 101 in third season, and my Food 101 in fifth season as well, Geography 101, Love Letters, Movie 101, and Music 101 in eighth. Fourth season, Science 101, Sex 101, and second season of my baby podcast, Law 101, Mental Health 101, and Bible Verses 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Tiana, finally, if you had to place a bet in 5 years, will SEO be more or less critical function for businesses than it's today, and why?
Favorite question. Favorite question. Okay, so I personally think that SEO, search
Mm-hmm.
engine optimization, is actually pretty platform agnostic. So people like to say like SEO is Google and Google is SEO, but they only say that because Google owns 90% of search right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see a huge shift in people searching other platforms. We're already seeing it. People search more on YouTube than they used to, more on Instagram. They're even starting to search on Facebook. Like, you go to Facebook now for an event, like that is what you do. So it's not that SEO is going to die, because I think there's always going to be people who do not want to do it. And you're
Mm-hmm.
always going to need to be found as a small business. What we are going to see is a shift in where SEO support is and who does it. So I think it's going to get a little bit easier, and it's going to be more about the content that you focus on, and it's going to be on different platforms. So I might end up being like a content strategist on social media. Like, that is what I think SEO's future is. While I do think websites are important, we are seeing so many zero clicks that in 5 years, I think your website may still be there and have its own specific purpose, but most people are probably going to be on different platforms at that point.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Miss Tiana, so can you please invite our listeners to support your business, your advocacy, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yes. So I actually have an SEO course. It's entry level to intermediate. It's called Master SEO. It is a wonderful way for you to learn how to do SEO if you want to be in the industry, or even if you're just a small business owner who wants to learn how to do it. If you go to my courses section, you can sign up for the next one.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Tianna Mamalick, because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering SEO will rise. So, Miss Tiana, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
More to come, people. See you soon.